Today I am sharing a book review of this book, A Mission for Meaning by Gabriel Conte. I loved this book. I could not put it down. I'm not typically a reader, but this book had me hooked. It was absolutely amazing. Gabriel Conte is actually from South Florida, very close to where I live, and I know a lot of this stuff that he talks about here, which is really cool just to have that personal level. And his wife is from Australia, so it was really fun to learn about how they met and some of the struggles that they had of meeting and, living across the world, and then some other issues throughout their marriage and different things with visa issues and all of that Gabriel talks about in this book. And it was really cool. It's a good balance of Gabe's personal story and entrepreneurship, business, mindset, all of that. It's a really good mix of all of those things, which I absolutely love because I am a big self-help book junkie. I just love renewing my mindset and constantly improving. And the book had a lot of that, but then it also had his own personal story and some things that he struggled with in the past and his family struggled with in the past. I'm not going to get into it because I want you to read the book, but it gets raw. There was tears, there was happy moments, sad moments, scary moments, all of that in this book, which was so cool. And of course, I'll have this linked for you down below, the Amazon link as well. But it was a really easy read, and I absolutely loved it. One thing that he also did that I loved, that at the end of most chapters, there's this little reflect section. And in that section, there's just questions to ask yourself and to really think back and really internalize for yourself of, okay, how does this apply to my life? How can I improve myself? And here's the questions for this chapter. Do you have a vision or goals for your relationship or your life as a whole? If you've never given it a lot of thought, take a minute and think of a person you'd like to become one day. Are you working towards that vision, or are you working against it? Those are some tough questions sometimes to ask yourself. What habits are you developing that will help you reach your goals and your overall vision? What habits might be hurting you for that mission, and how can you change that? So I love that he'll share different aspects of his life, his story, and how it's applied to him, and then also challenge you, the reader, to improve on yourself as well and kind of guide you through that process. Another thing that I loved about the book, and I'll be honest, I skipped right to the burnout section because when I got this book, I was really struggling with burnout. So I looked at the table of contents and I'm sorry, Gabe, but I read it out of order. But I saw the chapter on burnout. So I read burnout to the end. Then I went back to the beginning and read it from the beginning up until burnout. And I love that he talked about the struggles and the ups and downs of content creator. And so even if you're not a content creator, I think it's still going to be very beneficial for you to read. Or if you want kind of behind the scenes of a content creator and kind of seeing the struggles that we go through as content creators, it's really interesting to, to see that side of people, the other side of YouTube. And like I said, I have two different channels. I have this channel, and I also have my main channel, which is the one that helps support me financially full time. But it's interesting to see, Gabe's obviously a lot bigger of a channel than I have. He and his wife both have channels over 1 million. They have a combined channel, a Jess and Gabriel channel that's well over 1 million. So their channel scales are a lot larger than mine, obviously, but a lot of the struggles that he as a content creator, I have as a content creator as well. So it's really cool to see that. He also has little conversations with his wife in here or his parents, different things like that. And I love that he just is so relatable and I felt like I was sitting there having a cup of coffee with him, or him and his wife. Honestly, with him and his wife, I felt like we were just sitting, chatting, having a cup of coffee, just the way that he writes it. It's such in a conversational tone and not like talking at you, but like we're just conversating and just hanging out on the couch, having some coffee. This book is a faith-based book. It is, he talks about his faith and his walk with Christ, but it's not down your throat or anything like that. So if you're not someone, of the Christian faith or anything like that, I still think it's going to be really, really beneficial for you to read. I want to share some of the big aha highlight moments in the book. And one of them is found on page 150, and it's talking about fighting and fighting with your spouse. And This is a good one. And it said, what the two of us would eventually realize is that the first fight, like a lot of fights, wasn't me versus Jess or Jess versus me. The fight was us versus the situation. If we were going to make this marriage work, we needed to figure out how to better approach the problem and any other problems that come up. Solve it together as a husband and wife, as a team, not as enemies. And I think that's so big of realizing that it's not me against them. It's us together against the situation. We're fighting about the situation, that elephant in the room, that thing that is causing tension in our marriage, not necessarily fighting against each other. And when you get into that mindset of, I'm not fighting my spouse, but I'm fighting the situation, it really changes the whole perspective that you have on the disagreement, on the argument. And it really changes the mindset to be, okay, like we want to resolve this. Like, yes, we don't agree, but I still love them. And this little tiffy doesn't cause huge tension between us. And the book really helped to lay that out. And it was a really big, like, okay, this is a good reminder. I need this reminder. Another huge one that I just absolutely loved, and this is on page 175 in the chapter Intentionality. And it says, my pastor from LA, Pastor Josh, said this one time, the foundation of the country is communities. And the foundation of communities is families. And the foundation of families is the marriage, which means if the marriage is falling apart, then the communities are falling apart, which is why sometimes it feels like our country is falling apart. It just makes sense. I think about a high school friend group in which two of the people are dating. If they suddenly break up, the friend group splits. That's where all the drama is because the community has fallen apart. Love that. That is so true. And that is just such a great reminder of the importance of strengthening your marriage with your spouse, with your partner, with your husband, with your wife, and having that. And that's going to help to build up, and it's going to affect so many other aspects of our life. Okay. Last one that I really loved. And this is on page 101, and it's the chapter, A Family History Lesson. And it says, we live in this go world where people think nothing of telling you to work 15 hours a day to achieve what you want, to get into the grind, to work yourself to the bone, to achieve financial success. But at what cost? Money isn't the only goal, is it? What about love, marriage, happiness, giving back, helping others, sharing what you know, seeing the world, raising kids, finding faith, getting closer to God, being at peace with yourself? What about everything you want out of life? If the hustle is keeping you from those things, how is that success? Yeah, I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that big. And then it says, if you're not choosing the kind of life you want, how can you expect to get it? Choosing the kind of life you want is a big part of the mission of life. Part of setting goals is living in alignment with those goals. So you have to ask yourself, is what I'm doing leading me to accomplish the mission I'm on? Love it. Absolutely love it. Like, this book is just so full of so many different nuggets, and I absolutely loved it. There's tons of highlights in this book, and I can't wait to read it again, probably next year. And I'm sure I'm going to get so many different things out of it because I'll be in a different stage of my life, which is what I love about books, of reading them multiple times, because every time that you read a book, you're going to be at a different stage in your life and you're going to get something else out of it. Like I said, here is the book. I'll have it linked for you. I absolutely love this book. I really, truly did. It honestly inspired me to write an outline for my own book. I've been having people tell me for years I should write a book, and I'm like, no, there's enough personal finance books out there. And this really inspired me to write one kind of similar to how Gabe did, in writing one of my story, because I have a lot of stuff that happened in my childhood with growing up with a mom with cancer and having her pass away, and crazy family dynamics and all different things of that. And then how it's kind of shaped me into the person I am, while giving life tips and different things like that. So I love the way that he did a really great combination of both. And it inspired me to do an outline of my own book, and who knows, maybe someday I'll write it, maybe I won't, but I absolutely loved it, and it was a really, really great book. So I definitely want to do more of these book reviews. Let me know what other books you want me to review down below in the description. Let's keep the conversation going. If you want to know some side hustles that you can do from home, the comfort of your home, check out this video here. And if you want to know ways that you can grow a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel, I have a free course on YouTube. Check out this video here.